everyone, drum tech drummer and YouTube educator Kenny Sharretts coming to you from Rock Armor Studios today to give you a video that I hope you find is very useful, very educational, and also very entertaining. Now, as a drummer and a YouTube educator, I have the gear I own, I get to play it, I get to enjoy it and make videos for you. However, as a drum tech touring around the world, I get to play all the drums, and it's one of my favorite parts about being a drum tech, y'all. And it's also one of the most important parts of my gig to always stay up on the latest gear, understand what each drum company offers line-wise, so if I have an artist that was with a certain company, I can serve them best in helping them craft the kit they want or know how to get the sounds they want out of the kit that they got from the company. Now that brings us to the point of today's video topic, which is a two-sided topic. Number one, for you the viewer, this video is about how to tune your toms low to get great sounds with great attack on small drums. So your 10 kind of sounds like a 12. Your 12 kind of sounds like a 13. Your 14 can compete with a 16, and your 16 can compete with an 18. And it was also an opportunity for me to make a video I've been dying to make, which is how I design a kit for one of my players. Like if my player came to me and said, hey man, I'm looking for this in a kit and this in a kit, what would you suggest? And today I am doing this. Mapex kindly asked me to kind of give a tech overview of this kit, and since one of my drummers, Eric Boots Green, is a Mapex artist, I went ahead and decided for them and for you and for everybody to kind of fuse the videos all into one so we could talk about the tunings, why I choose them, the drums, why I choose them, and base it all around what Eric Boots Green would need, because again, I'm a drum tech, it's not about me. It's about my drummer, y'all. So let's go ahead and check these out, y'all, on the Mapex Evolution Series kit. Now, first of all, the Evolution series has multiple shells for you to check out. It's kind of a hybrid shell system. They have birch and walnut shells, and they have maple and walnut shells. And they're both blessed with their sonic clear edge, which brings the bearing edge deeper into the shell with a rounded back cut, creating more contact of the drum head to the shell, thereby creating more drum shell sound, thereby activating the walnut core to enhance and blend with the properties of the wood around it, creating unique tom tones that allowed me to easily craft a kit that fits Boots' needs perfectly. Because again, we're talking rock, pop, hip hop, everything, even hardcore rap, right in the middle of the same show. So again, these drums allow me to do this. Now, if you look at these kits, you can get them in all birch with walnut center. You can get them all with maple with a walnut center, or you can custom order your own setup. Say you want some birch toms, some maple kick, and a birch snare. You can get that. Say you want some maple floor toms to blend with your birch toms. You can get that, which is exactly what I did here. Now in this situation, I know for a fact that Boots needs high toms that project. They gotta have tone, they gotta have warmth, so they blend with the samples, they can blend with tracks, they can blend with percussion parts that are coming at him. So he needs toms that are warm sounding and rich sounding. However, in an arena, a 10-inch tom and a 12-inch tom tuned low is gonna get lost, y'all. So with the proper interval and the proper shell material, I can create toms that cut and project right through the arena, yet still sound rich. And in this case, that will be the birch toms, man, with the walnut core, y'all. The walnut somehow adds this certain darkness and richness to the birch, and the birch gets to handle all the attacks, so you get the perfect blend of both. And it's perfect for what Boots needs, because again, we're trying to make this 10 kind of fit the role of a 12. We want it to have bite, but we want it to have bottom end. Same with this 12, more like a 13, a lot of bite, but bottom end, you want big sounds. Well, this is why I chose the birch shell, and it's also why I chose the perfect fourth tuning. Tonic, perfect fourth above. Something about the perfect fourth just pops, especially in arena. It allows the drum to cut, allows it to project up into the overhead, so you get a bigger picture of the toms in the overall image of your kit. And with these shells, man, with the walnut giving that extra warmth, surprisingly being the wormwood here, these fit perfectly. Now, another reason I like these toms for Boots is the adjustment knob they have for controlling the sustain system on these halo mounts. Now these halo mounts are marked right at the center line, or mount right at the center line, right under the lugs. It's a center line mounting, y'all, allowing the shell to resonate freely. There's not one side or the other being pushed on too hard. So this is really a cool feature for me as a tech. All right, y'all, so now let's take a look at these floor toms that I chose. Now for boots, I chose maple floor toms because I know a lot of times too much attack in pop music can make a floor tom stick out and it doesn't sound natural. In this case, I want them to sound rich and deep, but I still need a little attack. And this is where the walnut comes into play on these floor toms. The sonic clear bearing edge, like I said before, allows more of the shell to get involved. So it's deeper into the shell, allowing the walnut to activate and complement the other wood that's wrapped around it, in this case the maple. And blended together, it's a perfect warmth where the toms sound great all the way around the kit together. Now again, we got no muffling on these drums, but listen to it. Now the other thing I'm loving about this maple and this sonic clear bearing edge is it's allowing me to tune ultra easy. These drums were so unbelievably easy to tune up, y'all. And it's allowing me to get super low tones out of this drum. And I'm giving you that full arena spread that allows the toms to sound huge across the range, to where it sounds like you're actually going around the mountain with these toms. And the bearing edges allow this to happen. And I'm also loving these hoops, man, like the stick jumper hoops with the bend in. Man, they feel really good on my sticks. And again, I think it's part of what's allowing this drum to tune so cleanly, so low. Because again, this drum for boots sometimes is either the gong bass drum or has to match up with the gong bass drum. So it can't be all high, it's got to be low. And that's what I'm really digging about the tuning on this drum, is that it still has projection and body, but it's like a big, almost like a timpani, man. And that's what I'm going for. So let's go ahead and take a look at the snare I chose. Now in this situation, this is not a snare drum that he would use as his main snare drum. Boots is a 12 to a 13 snare guy. He wants it crisp and clean, because I know there's two things that Boots like about a snare sound. One, it's got a rich, thick body to it and a fullness to it, so it blends with all the clap samples he has to trigger or other tracks on that he plays along with that allow him to have a full snare sound. He wants it to blend like a producer. However, I also know it's got to have crack, and I'm talking like almost church-type crack. It's got a bite. However, in some situations, Boots will have 2, maybe 3 snares. He'll have like a big low-tuned ballad snare or Motown-style snare. He'll have his 12 or 13 right here cranked up super tight, and then he'll have the in-betweener. And so with that in mind, I chose this birch walnut combination so we can get the darkness and projection of the walnut like we got here out of the toms, but you still get the crack and projection of the birch. And I'm telling you, I have chosen the right drum, because this, now I did put a little bit of muffling on this drum because again, Boots wants a tight, crisp snare drum that's gonna blend with the samples that he's either got to trigger or play along with. And this is important, so if you have a big drum just ringing out, it's not gonna blend well with things, man. But in this situation, you get a crisp, clean, tight snare sound with a lot of body, a lot of fullness, but it's got crack. Come on! So let's go ahead and check out the last element of the kit, which is the kick drum. All right, now in this situation, I took into account the fact that Boots almost always has a trigger on his kick drum. He has to reflect some of the recordings and the elements of the recording so it could bring the listener and the fan in the arena the whole experience of the record, but live, right? So he'll usually have a trigger on the kick drum. So I chose the maple walnut shell for his kick drum, so we had a nice warm round kick drum with a dark, thick attack to it to blend with the higher, clickier attacks that you get out of a lot of the samples that I programmed for him. I know on Puff Daddy, programmed a lot of trigger samples for him, and I know this kick would blend perfectly with it. Now, it's got a lot of body, it's got a lot of punch. I'm gonna drop the snare so you can really hear the bottom end. But basically, I just tuned them a whole step apart, a little bit tighter on the front head, but both are still pretty loose. I made it fit for him and for what his foot would like, so it's got some kickback, but not so tight that it's like another tom. And at the front head, I brought it up just a little bit above, about a whole step. So you get a tight, punchy front bass drum sound that doesn't just ring on for days, yet there's still lots of bottom. Listen to that. Now, I do have a little bit of muffling in the bass drum, but it's just an Evans EQ pad sitting in there, mainly to make sure that the 91 I have in there, along with the PR48, get a nice clean sound, and the 91 isn't rattling around the kick. Otherwise, I left this kick wide open. There ain't nothing in there. Listen to that punch. And And that's what the walnut is going to give you with this maple hybrid blend. That punch, but that warm is all maple all day long. So again, I'm going to go ahead and play this kit for y'all a little bit, let you check out some of the features as I play the full kit. And then let's take a look at some different tunings on this kit so you can see it's not just a one-trick pony. It's not all about attack. We can also get a lot of country-style warmth out of these drums, y'all. Let's do it. All right, y'all, that was absolutely phenomenal. Exactly what I hoped for, exactly what I expected, exactly what I would want to give Boots. If he said, hey, Kenny, man, tell me about the Saturn Evolution series. How would I put a kit together? This is how I would put the kit together. However, I also want to show a little bit more versatility in tuning. So the first tuning tip I want to show you is how I would take these up from a perfect fourth, which is the tonic, perfect fourth above, on the bottom head, to a major third, where I'll raise these top heads just a little bit to see how these drums sound tuned a little bit higher, a little bit more warm, and possibly better for a different venue like a smaller theater or a really cool club gig, y'all. So let's get it on and get to some tuning. So now we're back behind the kit, ready to do a little drum and let you check out the differences in pitches with the major thirds on each tom. That's tonic, major third above, with the bottom head a little bit tighter. However, we still got the arena spread. We got the perfect fourth here. We get the perfect fourth here. And we got the perfect fourth here. So it's the same spread, same intervals between the toms, just with a bit warmer sound. And I gotta keep muting them because again, man, there's so much sustain in these drums. I did put no muffling. These are single ply heads. Give you an idea of what this drum kit does and what these features all do together. So now that I've had a chance to play the kit at both tunings and you got to hear the kit at both tunings, I hope you agree with me that as a tech, I made a pretty good estimation of how to use this Mapex Evolution Series kit to Boots' best advantages. Using the two birch toms up high with walnut core gives him the bite he needs, but there's still enough warmth. Putting these warm maple with the walnut core for attack floor toms in position have absolutely exactly what I would want as a tech out of these drums for Boots. And I can't say anything bad about this birch snare. This thing is cracking, and this maple kick gives me, as a tech, in my ears, exactly what Boots would need to wrap around all the samples he plays, y'all. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please check out more of my videos on YouTube, Kenny Sharretts. More in-depth videos at kennysharretts.com, where I get more in-depth on how to tune the drums. And of course, keep your eyes out for the in-depth tuning series I'm going to be doing on these Mapex Evolution Series drums, so you can see from scratch how I tuned them to the original Perfect fourth tuning. Solid, y'all. All right, y'all, I wanted to make sure I took a moment and told you that as a tech, how much I really do admire the halo lateral underlug mounting system they use for these Mapex toms. It really does allow these shells to resonate freely, gives you lots of open tone. As a tech, I'm loving this, but what I love more is it gives my drummer the freedom to actually adjust these tones a little bit with this knob to control that sustain, giving him the ability to actually adapt to the venue, the song, or possibly the song on the fly in the middle of a gig to adapt tones to fit what his artist needs. Let's check out the 12. Ooh, wide open tone. A little too much. Oh, this is awesome for the drummer who likes an open head with no muffling on it. This is the kind of system that gives you the solutions at any gig, in any studio, at any time, y'all.